Why did so many civilians die in Gaza under the leadership of Hamas, yet when Israel engaged with Iran, Syria, Lebanon, and other recent encounters, that there were almost no civilian casualties? Take a look at this clip over here with Alan Dershowitz talking on the Piers Morgan show, where he makes the clear distinction as to why this is, specifically with regard to Hamas. So we'll watch this clip together and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Israel's government is currently, with the way it's prosecuting this war in Gaza in the last few months, is very rapidly losing global support, even from key allies who do not think this is self-defense anymore. And they're joining the dots with what people like Smotrich are saying, and they fear there is a much bigger plan that is now unfurling, which is to get rid of all the Palestinians. And in relation to the number of children being killed, you know, obviously you don't believe every statistic that comes out of the Hamas-run health authority, although historically their numbers have later proven to be broadly accurate. That is a fact. But the reality is, we know from reporters on the ground, we know that probably 20 to 25,000 children have been killed here. This cannot be right, Alan, that this continues.
Well, let me respond. There was a war in Iran. Israel went in, destroyed much of the military capacity, and they killed an incredibly tiny number of civilians, very, very few, in the low hundreds, which proves clearly that the only reason that civilians have been killed in the Gaza Strip is because they're used as human shields. Because the leaders,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why.
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Well, okay, but I don't agree with your summation. But finish your sentence.
Yeah. My point is, when Sinwar hid, where did he hide? He hid underneath the hospital with 9 of his people. Israel had to kill all of them. And yes, they killed 16 civilians. That's proportional. Let me tell you, if Hamas hadn't done October 7th, if they hadn't used human shields, if they didn't use hospitals, there wouldn't have been a single person, a single civilian killed. Israel prides itself on being able to target, stop cutting me off, being able to target military targets like the Iranian nuclear reactors. When it destroyed the Iraqi nuclear reactor, 1 civilian casualty. Syria, no civilian casualties. Iran, very few. Why Gaza? Because they use human shields. Because they hide their commanders among the children in order to induce Israel to kill children, so that people like you can get on television and correctly point out that so many civilians have been killed. It's all the fault of Hamas.
Here's the problem I have with that theory, which is this. I hear it a lot. But if you look at the way that Israel dealt with Hezbollah, for example, a very carefully planned and well-executed plan that targeted almost exclusively the Hezbollah terrorists, right? Again, very surgical, very targeted.
They were condemned for that as well. They were condemned for that.
I don't believe that the combined brain power of Mossad and the IDF could not have come up with a better way.
Wait a minute.
Hang on, let me finish.
Mossad has no jurisdiction over Gaza. Let me just correct you.
But the idea that Mossad
doesn't belong in Gaza.
But the idea that Mossad wouldn't have known stuff going on in Gaza is for the birds. And I just cannot understand why, given the global dismay about what has been happening in Gaza, that with the destruction of 70% of Gaza now, with so many children being killed, everybody accepts that Israel's trying to go after Hamas, but they also accept and understand, because it's clear that way too many children are being killed here, and that the end goal of getting the hostages released is not happening, right? That the language from Smotrich makes people think there's a different plan going on here. And so my question really is,
he has no influence.
There has to have been a better way than just leveling Gaza to the ground. And I think it's been driven by...
I agree with you.
Do you not think?
No, I agree with you that there has to be a better way. And the better way would have been for Hamas to come out and fight in the open like brave people do all over the world. But instead, they hide behind children and babies. They use them as human shields. And that's why Israel has to go in order to dismantle Hamas. They tragically... Israel never benefits from killing a civilian. Why would any Israeli ever want to kill a civilian?
So why
They
does it
wouldn't
keep
want to
doing
do
it,
that.
Aaron?
They lose in your court of public opinion.
Yes.
They lose on your television show.
Yes.
If they kill a civilian, they don't want to kill civilians.
It is a newsflash to nobody that innocent people dying is a bad thing. It's a sad thing. And that should be newsflash to literally nobody. The question is who bears responsibility for those innocent people's deaths. And that, in this case, lies squarely on Hamas. Hamas, who makes terror tunnels under hospitals, Hamas that purposely positions themselves in schools and other places where innocents live and purposely try that innocents will die. The more innocents will die in order that they can gain and garner public opinion. That is the one who bears the responsibility for all of this. They're the one who started it. They're the one that perpetuates it. They're the one that can end it. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.